Why, hello everybody. Lucasgvariety and friends are back with Robotech, the MACROSS SAGA. This is going to be our episode number 6, if I got that right. The RM can verify. And today is January the 19th, 2020. So, just talking a little bit about our schedule for upcoming month. I will bring that up at the end. But we got 4 more weeks, including tonight, of Robotech, before season 1 is coming to a close. And it's going to be intense. But that's enough for me. It's time to pass it upstairs, sir. And welcome everybody.
I am Robotech Master Harukajunko, and I say, welcome back, everyone. Once again, like always, I am always glad to be here, playing with these guys. And we have a new cast member, if you haven't noticed. I don't like this guy, but Lucas was forcing me to have him, so I just let it happen. The captain also gave me an order, so I will introduce Jodo1025, who has previewed on this channel before, playing such characters as that one guy from Blades in the Dark.
And that's the whole list. Thank you.
Gee, thanks. I'm so flattered, GM.
I know. No, it's RM. It's Robotech Master. Come on.
Okay. Whatever you say, Alexander.
Hey, I bring home the groceries. You don't get to complain. If it wasn't for me, you'd never have groceries.
So you constantly bring home groceries, but you don't cook them.
Well, yeah, because I'm a vampire. I'm like, or no, I'm a holdout. What? I don't need to eat, so I just bring it home for you guys to cook. Because I'm nice.
Don't eat any of your crap. What are you talking about?
Oh God, is this all about the ice cream again?
Yeah, I thought what the anchovy.
Hi, folks. Blades in the Dark jokes on Robotech.
Yep.
Anyway.
But
way to cross the streams, guys. Crossing the streams is very bad.
Yeah, we're crossing the streams way too much. But, yep, so last time we left off, the group had just mulched the entirety of an assault carrier and her crew at point-blank range. Everyone but Alex Metz was rather enjoying the show, as Liquid Snake would say, you enjoy killing, and they would all say, yes, we do.
Because you're psychopaths.
We don't enjoy it, we just know it has to be done. Get on board.
Yeah.
Come on. Tenet's a video game. It makes everything much better. It's all right.
Yeah. But Alex Metz unfortunately had a little bit of a mental breakdown there, and it took a little bit for them to get him moving. But luckily for him, they got him moving, they blew up the assault carrier, and they did get a level up out of it. They're now all officially level 3, and we start off the session with the party with most of the we're actually in an elevator with Lisa Hayes and a little bit of an older Russian man, and she's looking over some information on her tablet and sends several things over to his email and is like, your transfer orders have been assigned. You'll now be supporting Silver Squadron in their duties. Your Destroy unit will be assisting them and working in tandem with them as the Commander's Scalpel.
Oh, good. It's about time we got out to stretch our legs a bit. So, thank you so much, Lisa. We really do appreciate it.
Yes, of course. I understand that you have not had a lot of action, mostly due to us having that had ground to put you on, but due to our supply shortages, we're going to probably be having to hit Mars, and, well, there'll be plenty of ground for you to stand on there.
Well, that's good, because that's the best thing we can do is pound the ground and pound our enemies to dust. So tell me more about this Silver Squadron. So I've heard here this and that. So they sound intriguing.
Well, to say intriguing would be a set of words you could use. It's led by Second Lieutenant Archibald Silverworth III. He is, he's a above average pilot, but he does get his mission done if he is a little bit lecherous and attempts to be smooth. We have several confirmed citations on him for lecherous activity, and at least one instance of a civilian calling the police on him.
So he acts just like any other soldier. So he's not going to be any harder to manage than the rest of the Fusiliers.
He acts more like someone who walked out of Top Gun without actually going to it.
Airheads. What about the rest of them?
Well, flying on his wing is Chuck Burning, a intellectual, but he's a little nervous around the edges, but he's dependable. I could say that much, as he's pulled Archibald out of the fire on more than one occasion and gotten him out of a court-martial 3 times.
What a bit of dedication.
Mm-hmm. Next up, we have Melody Jacobs. She's a test pilot that was assigned to the squadron. Her other squadron had been... her other squadron, unfortunately, suffered large enough casualties to be folded into several of the other units. From what we can tell from her work, she's the pilot that Archibald wished he was, and at least 3 of the citations from towards Archibald were from Melody Jacobs.
Interesting choice, but we do what we need to. Like forming combined arms detachment with a Russian Fusiliers with an air corps, but that's neither here or there. But
unfortunately, due to the stretched resources, we are in somewhat need of fusing these things together. And the last one in there is Alex Matz. He's a performer who, on the day of the initial attack, jumped into a Veritech and helped Silver Squadron repel some attackers. He does show some promise, but I don't know. I just feel something's weird about him. The way that we weren't able to find anything on database about him from global databases. So if you could keep an eye on him, that would be good, but I suspect that he's just a literal nobody who rose up through fame with a few good songs. He'll probably a one-hit wonder.
You let a civilian pilot of their attack. That's wise.
He did not exactly let him pilot it. He more or less hopped into it while the other pilot was missing and took off.
And why not brig him?
The captain decided that brigging him would be a waste of space and gave him the chance of joining the RDF under his name of Alex Matz, since we couldn't find anything on him, or in his words, or rather, the meaning he meant to get across was join us or take a long walk out of a short airway.
Good to see that Captain Color still has his spine. That sounds very much like him. So,
and he also still has his drinking habits.
Yeah, don't like judge us based on our vices. You could use that to loosen up a little bit. So
I'll loosen up once we get back home.
So
unfortunately, right now we've got more pressing matters, and like introducing you to the squadron and not dying from an alien race that we have been fighting.
One day I will convince you, Plemenitsa. You worked so very, very hard, and it's such an admirable trait, one shown by all great leaders in the motherland. But even Comrade Rokovetsky had to know when to rest and recuperate. But I guess for the sake of the motherland and all aboard the vessel, I just encourage you to remember to rest every once in a while. Trust me, it'll pay off.
Of course, I would never do anything to endanger the ship or or any of the people on board. Though having to deal with an extra 70,000 souls on board is not exactly what a first test run of the ship was supposed to be, I think. And it's at this point the light on the elevator goes ding as it turns on, and the doors open up, and well, this is our floor, right this way, and she leads you along. And the rest of you are sitting in the same briefing room as usual, just kind of waiting. You guys are waiting on debrief. Both the captain and Lisa Hayes haven't arrived yet. You also got reports of a unit, or rather, some unit shenanigans being pulled, from what you could understand.
How long has it been since we got back from the mission with the assault carrier?
Maybe about 30 minutes, 45.
Okay,
Yep.
just
Not
wasn't
that
sure
long.
if I wasn't sure if it had been some length of time or literally we just got back.
This is literally you just got back. You got to do your normal debriefing stuff.
Okay, so I'm still shell shocked then.
Yep. You're kind of sitting at your table like, all these people make a salad. All these people make a salsa. Man, no, you guys are stuck in the room. The captain has yet to arrive. Probably stopped for a quick wine ration. As I see him take a sip in the picture there.
That's the stuff.
Lucas, I see your question. Let me actually check really quickly. Third lieutenant. Second lieutenant.
I know it depends on the faction. I'm just not sure.
Yep.
You know,
I gotta scroll back.
the
up
country,
here.
the branch military. I know it's usually
Well,
similar.
luckily for the country, it doesn't really matter anymore because everyone's under the United Earth Defense Group. But the highest rank, well, you don't know this yet, but out of game, the highest rank would be Jodo, but he has been specifically told that the command structures are separate for the units, but you're working together. So, like, you command Silver Squadron, he commands his Fusiliers.
I just don't know. I want to make sure Archie always respectively salutes appropriately.
Yeah.
So I just want to know what we're gonna know, or unless we don't know.
You don't know anything yet. You've just heard that there's been more changes and shifting of units around from a couple of the airmen that were sitting in the ready room, just kind of waiting for their turn to go out on patrol.
A lot of
So-
parallel rank structures that technically wouldn't interact, but because we're in such a confined battle space, we constantly overlap. So it's like, okay, who's in charge of what now? That guy is. He's lower ranked than all of us. Yeah, but he's the only one that knows what's going on. Yeah, that guy.
Okay. So what was this room that we're in, and we're all here except for the
Yeah,
captain?
you guys, well, the members of Silver Squadron all here. It's the same briefing room as before. Nothing's really changed or anything. It's you guys are just kind of waiting around.
Is this somewhere where like Chuck is sitting promptly between Jacobs and I on the long stretched couch? Like he's the
Yeah,
barrier
yeah,
between.
like they're.
Whatever. I'm sitting over near the kid.
I'd be trying to talk to you.
Yeah, I'll be ignoring you.
He's kind of taking his time to get his nap when he can. He's like, there's a couple of tables that are set up in here, and he's like put his feet up on the table, and he's kind of dozed off a little bit.
And since he's not looking after me like he should be, I am over talking to Jacobs. This is what
Of course.
This is what the major can see when he comes in. It's like, I don't know why you're so upset. It was the best night ever. I was a total gentleman.
These chairs wheel.
No, they're those heavy ones that they're the
Even
heavy
better.
ones.
Yeah,
Even
right?
better.
The
Weapons, got it.
Yeah, no, with the metal legs. They don't have like the rubber padding underneath.
So what you're saying is they'll brain someone real good.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
It
Alan,
swung hard enough.
Alan,
They call it-
tell her. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mike. I apologize.
Oh yeah, no, I was just saying. Yeah, no, if they swung the chair hard enough, they could do some damage.
I would turn it because she was sitting by Alex, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, Alan, find the perfect song and sing that explains what I'm trying to convey. I don't know how to do it right now. I mean, you were such a wall that I could.
He just sort of he turns to him. He's like, empty eyes, like, we were killing people.
And it's at this point, the door opens up, and the captain is the first to arrive because Lisa Hayes had to meet the Fusiliers, or at least their leader. And Captain, you walk in as you hear the statements of, but we were killing people.
Am I in this room too, or am I?
You're like about 15 seconds behind the captain, so you might have been able to hear something about it as the door opened up, but it was kind of a little bit muddled between the captain there and someone obviously sounding a little shaken.
The captain
Okay.
continues walking towards the front desk. He's got a folder, it's basically like a red folder with lots of papers in it, and he's just going to slap it down when he comes through.
And you, of course, you, Captain, have gotten the official pictures from gun cam footage and other sets of footage about what's been going on. Along with a couple of scientific readouts on the leg that they brought back, which there's already been statements of a full science report coming in later today.
Yeah, perfect. They're actually doing their job for once.
Yep.
Even in the right order.
And with that, as you slam it down on the desk, the door opens again, and Lisa Hayes and names brain.
Ivan.
Yeah, Ivan Suranova walks into the room, and you're greeted by the sight of Archer, this red-haired kind of very talkative guy, kind of leaning over to the female who you assume is Melody Jacobs, and he's talking between them and what looks to be a rather shaken kid with purple hair, like purple and blue hair.
Now, my hair is not just flaming orange. Remember, it has silver tips with one blue
tips.
thing that comes up like this. I want to make sure that crazy anime hair is.
He's got that Sonic the Hedgehog haircut.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pre or post rework?
Yes.
And of course you see
You get the answer yes.
And of course you see one guy over there just taking his chance to get a nap, and as he's kind of stretching and slowly waking up from the captain slapping his thing on the table.
Actually, as soon as the captain's taking a drink, the last drink out of his cup, and he looks up and sees Ivan.
And Ivan will
and
quirk an eyebrow.
Chucks it at him and misses on purpose.
Wow.
Who let this man on my ship?
What the?
Didn't you get the filing reports of your top officers? He is leader of one of the destroyed teams, and
I know what he pilots. Ivan, how'd you get out of that city before I leveled it?
Well, one, you were so freaking slow. We did the logical thing. We walked out, you nut job. And two,
would you be able to do that for me instead of against me?
Depends. Are you going to drop more bombs on me?
Not on purpose, just like the last time I missed.
Yes, you need to work on your aim.
I do. That's why I got all these people to be in front of it, so I have time to shoot twice.
You're still the same. You're still the same salty bastard that you've always been. Good to see you. It's been what? I think it really has been since New Stalingrad when you leveled it to the ground.
Well, I mean, technically, it's now old New Stalingrad.
What is this, Futurama?
It's currently a parking lot still, I believe. Yeah, it's been a while. Anyway, come have a seat. Are you still you're still in the bots? You're still a ground pounder, right? You're not flyer? Because I could use
Of course. Of course I'm ground pounder. So one moment though. Just for reference for everybody, Ivan is a very tall, stereotypical Russian.
Aggressively Russian.
So a very full mustache, not a Stalin stash, but it's even oiled to some points. They look kind of classy. And otherwise,
Lucas, could you show his picture on stream?
I don't know.
His thing should be available to look at.
Where at?
In the character section under Ivan Suranova. There you go.
Oh, wow, yeah,
He's Russian.
Yeah, but Ivan is not a small guy, and he takes one other glance at the rest of the room, and he's gonna look at the color back at Captain Colors and be like, "It may be your room, but may I establish order for a moment?"
No. Sit. You can play the games when I'm done. This will be quick.
Very well.
He flips open the folder and he starts sliding papers out of the pictures of the people that was from your gun cams. Our analysis shows superficially every person in this picture biologically looks like a human being. And he slides one more picture that it skids and runs in the paper. However, they're at least 5 to 6 times our size, which is, according to modern science, physically impossible for the human heart to pump at that scale. So, they aren't humans. They are people just like any other enemy combatant, and until one of them deems us worthy to talk to, we're going to treat them as such, young man. And he slaps the folder closed. You can take a day off from your duties to get that through your head, but until then, I don't want you in my fighter. And he looks around a minute and he goes, despite all that, you took down an enemy ship with almost no help from me, or the ship, or your other wings. You're all getting a commendation for that. It'll be in your record, and if we ever get home, you'll actually get them pinned on you unless I can get a fabricator running properly that doesn't spit out grape juice, and we'll see them pinned on you as soon as we can. And he looks at Hayes. And anything else we're missing?
No. I don't believe that we are missing anything from this at this point. And she kind of thinks over and she kind of looks at her notepad. Nope, that looks like it's about it. Should I schedule this group off for the next day?
They will be on low standby, just like everyone else is on standby and perform. But they do need a time off to recharge and make sure all their mech or their fighters were in order. The rest of all of you, I'm going to leave. The rest of you stay here for a few minutes, get acquainted. Ivan, you're going to be their backup as best possible. We can keep you hopefully on the ship, but the enemy is getting closer and closer with every engagement. They're getting bolder, or they're just stopping whatever form of non-damage they want to do to us. Perhaps at some point they'll just attempt a board, and that's where you guys will be the shield. But you're going to still be a part of Silver Squadron's scalpel unit.
Leave it to the Fusiliers, Captain. So we will make sure that nothing will ever walk these halls that is not human.
Don't make that promise, because we don't know some of the places in this thing yet, but we're getting there. Anyway, gentlemen, ladies, once you're done, half an hour, you're dismissed. And he walks out.
Archie's like up and salutes, but he's probably already leaving.
Yeah,
right?
Ivan didn't even sit down through this. He more or less just stood like.
That's his sitting down.
Yeah. So Ivan does a polite salute, like exact to protocol,
Yep.
And then
you can hear him walking down the hallway on a communicator going, I need wine right now, girls. Ivan is here, and that's the one that got away in the worst way possible. You don't argue with me about this. Get the wine and meet me there.
Ivan is here is such a Cold War statement. Ivan is here on our shores.
And you just hear from the communicator, isn't he that really cute Russian or something?
Yes, the one that's really muscular for no apparent reason. Yes, I know. Stop rubbing it in.
I mean, there's a pretty apparent reason he's infantry, or what passes for infantry anyway.
Lisa Hayes obviously leaves out with him, falling behind him, going over his schedule, looking at the wine rations and getting a little worried. And then you guys are left alone as the door and
Hey.
So
Guy?
Ivan is will resume parade rest. He's staring at the door for a moment, listening for for Captain Colors to come back before he turns around and looks at all these interesting people in the room. So, this is Silver Squadron.
Well, a couple. 4
So-
of the 11. 11, right, Mike?
yes, 11. Jared died last time.
Yeah, that
Yep.
guy. Son of
At least Fayt was able. It was Fayt who rescued.
Leela.
Yeah.
Yep. But 4 of the 11.
At least
In
it's
all its
not
glory.
10.
And staff.
So, if everything is to believe, I am looking at a lech, a civilian, a test pilot, and obviously somebody who can't be bothered to be woken up for his superior officers on the deck.
I am not a test pilot. I'll have you know.
And you just hear Chuck, and he goes, "Ugh, no, I think he's talking about Melody, man."
She is not a civilian.
Ivan trounces it's him walking, but because of his size, it's kind of clomp, clomp, clomp.
Up and down.
It goes over to Chuck, and kind of looms over top of him, and is like, "Have a good nap."
Oh, it's the problem. It might be the last one I get. Who knows? So yeah, let's go with good for now.
He's got a mouth on him.
He was attempting to take a nap and had to wake up for like a 5.5-minute debrief.
Oh, what we already knew.
So Ivan
So you're
stands up, and we listen to him pop his neck for a moment.
Oh dear God.
And then he is going to take a deep breath and be like, "Officer on the deck, get on your feet, you lazy smuck."
And to which, since he's kind of leaning back and he's got his feet up on the desk, when you yell that you startle him, he flips backwards and bashes his head on the table behind him before he stands up and salutes, like, "Yes, sir."
Good Lord. No wonder they're attaching me to you schmucks. You are probably the most undisciplined, most ragtag nonsense I have seen put together in many a year.
what?
This should be fun.
Keith is still there, holding the salute as you're saying this at complete proper attention, except his knees are locked.
You have to return that salute, out of character.
So yeah, and Ivan will be like, "At ease."
And Keith will kind of sulk back down and grab the back of his head. Ow.
All right.
Undisciplined? I don't know. Maybe. But can you keep up with it? Because it's our undiscipline that allowed us to destroy a carrier. Let's see what you got. Can you fly? Can you get aboard? Can you ride with us?
No.
Then why are you here?
Let me formally introduce myself. I am Major Ivan Suranova of the 1st Moscow Destroyed Fusiliers. So, aka, we are the ones who bring the big guns to the fight and make it an unfair fight in our advantage. So,
I like it so far.
it's
Hold
my
on 1 second. I gotta roll something.
Hmm.
Okay, I'd say this one. Wait, the Ivan Saranov? Huh. Chuck says, kind of looking at you wide-eyed. The one who's known to go toe-to-toe with Captain Colors back in the Global War.
Yes.
Archibald, he was in our textbooks,
So is he the Nightmare of Moscow?
baby.
So my other reputation.
Oh,
Well,
another challenge.
you may have heard of my call sign, Prikolichi.
I've heard of it. I don't know Russian.
I probably was asleep that day. Or,
When weren't you?
well, I wasn't alone. That's the thing. Anyways, it doesn't matter.
In context, Prikolichi is like the myth lore like proto generator to the werewolf. Essentially, very very bad violent Russians would rise up from the grave and instead be giant monsters. Essentially, that's what a Prikolichi is.
I think that sounds cool.
So, but it's like, but yes, me and Captain Colors have a very checkered history together. So, him for leveling cities, and me for making his absolute time in the war absolute hell.
I do like that as well. I haven't given the captain enough hell. I'll be observing you for pointers. Nah.
Chuck kind of just rolls his eyes at the statement and slumps back down into his chair.
Oh. But yes, I am in charge of the Fusiliers, and apparently our units are being merged to form a combined arms unit.
So, if we're out in space fighting, how are you to participate? Do you have a plan?
Mr. Archie Wall? So
Close enough.
Archie Wall, I always have a plan. That's just it. I wouldn't be here if I never had a plan. Unlike you, who seems to just wing it. Pardon the humor. I have to give you flyboys some hell every now and then.
That's fine. I still want to know how a bird that can't fly expects to participate in space with all the airheads.
Is this the same question as Miss Melody over here? You are Melody, are you not? I'm trying to recall. AKA Fayt's character name, is that?
Yeah, Melody.
I think she's staring in contempt at you.
Like, yes.
That sounds about right.
She does. Yeah, she does that to everyone.
So.
She doesn't talk much, especially around Archibald here.
Well, I'm not surprised with his rather rambunctious behavior, but
it's much more than that.
Track record, be quiet.
you got spirit. So that's a good quality to have, officer. So, what are you, a first lieutenant, second lieutenant?
I am not an
Corporal.
officer. I'm a corporal.
You're a corporal.
Corporal.
So, yep. So, pardon me. Pardon me, corporal. Very good trait to have. Now, to answer the question, that is if Archie Wall over here can keep his tongue to himself for a moment, instead of butting in on superior officers speaking. Good. I'm glad we have understanding. So, but the simple fact of the matter is, the first Moscow destroyed Fusiliers will be now embarking with new magnetic attachments to our destroids to latch onto the side of the SDF-1 in order to be part of the field. Our tools are calibrated enough to engage in moderate to extreme distance combat. So so we will be providing much in the way of anti-air, anti-mech, and I personally will be providing anti-naval support. So
still not flying. Okay.
well, let me put it this way. Would you take a boat to go flying through the air with?
Depends on if it was equipped for space or not. Usually they're not, so probably not. That's probably where you're leading me to. Right? Burns, is that what he's doing?
How is this your squadron leader?
Not my by choice.
But
Carefully. Just say that.
But you use the proper tool for the proper job. Your fighters are really good at being fast and destroying individual mechs as well as carrying out strategic objective targets. My death droids, on the other hand, are good at blowing up a lot of shit and clearing the field so you can proceed to do said operations without being overtly harassed. And the best way for us to do that is to stay attached to the ship where our stabilizers allow us to lock on and make the problem go away. If we... So.
Go ahead.
Yep. Sorry, I was clearing my throat for a second.
Okay, sorry. I was trying to think of a response. I faltered, and then I saw you speaking. Anyway, no, that's good. So not flying, but support and destroying. Who would turn that down? Certainly not myself. Chuck
might if it got in the way of you and a woman.
Chuck tries to do everything himself, so if it wasn't for me, we wouldn't have this the whole crew here. We'd all be flying solo. But Chuck knows better now, and we will gladly accept the ground pounders to the team, as it were. Fusiliers?
You make it sound like you have a choice.
Oh yeah, there's always a choice.
The choice is you follow orders,
Yeah.
or otherwise you go to brig.
Oh,
You see, and everyone can kind of see Keith kind of looks up towards Archibald like he's gonna say something, but he just wants his nap.
Oh.
That's confusing me. It's Chuck, right?
he probably should have said. He probably should have stopped Archie. I think Archie would probably keep talking. He's like, the brig. Oh, have you seen the cute jailer there? Oh man. All I have to say is, lock me up, Major, and throw away that key. Anyway, Chuck
Please.
is trying to get some R&R. Are we excused, sir?
Is there any other questions that the rest of the Silver Squadron wish to pose? No? That everybody except the civilian is excused.
Oh no.
Sorry,
And Chuck
sorry, Jacob.
jumps up. And Chuck jumps up and he just puts his arms behind his head and like, thank you, sir.
Like,
I'll see you tomorrow.
So
If
you
I
get
work out.
plenty of rest. You'll need it.
Oh, you have no idea.
I
And, you know,
it's like. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
oh god.
I was gonna say the order going out. I feel like maybe it's Chuck, and if it's Melody, then Archie's trying to follow like behind, like.
I don't ever turn my back to you.
That's
No,
a
no,
smart
you
choice.
You see, Chuck is he's not playing games with letting you drag him slowly around the ship. He's just tugging on you to bring you back to the barracks.
He's tugging at me.
Yeah, he's like got you by the collar and is kind of dragging.
Okay,
Like
so
a disobedient puppy.
I think he's going first and he's pulling me, so I'm backwards facing Melody as she's following us out. I'm like, how about just a lunch? Just a lunch. 20 minutes. 20 minutes.
I'll just pat the kid on the shoulder and just follow them out.
Okay, so that's a yes, right? That's and then like
No.
the door.
And then
The voices are all just cut off.
Yep. And you can hear something muffled and then a loud thwump as which you would assume is Melody hitting him, but it's actually Keith hitting him in the back of the head.
A wonderful new party game.
Mm-hmm.
Pin the hammer on Archie's head.
And with
I don't know where I was going with that, I'll be honest.
It's the guessing game.
Yep.
And with that, it is just the two of you left in the room, and I get to stop talking for a bit.
This entire time, by the way, he has not been talking. He's been sort of head down looking at the picture of the people that they were killing.
So, and we hear the thud, thud, thud as Ivan essentially, he again sighs and his strength is apparent as he just he nonchalantly picks up one of these heavy chairs and moves it to be directly.
Is he doing the turnaround thing, arms over the back?
No, he's not going to go for that. He's instead going to be sitting a chair right next to yours and then sits. It's like, so I heard you just randomly jumped into Veritech and flew not halfway bad.
I was lucky.
I think so too. I think you were very extraordinarily lucky. I think you were winging it the entire. I think from what I'm hearing, that you had no idea what you were doing. You did it, and somehow you came out on top and not dead.
And that's sort of it was like a sort of a sullen, what about it?
You are not soldier. You are furthest thing from soldier I have ever seen, and I think it is a mistake that Captain Colors has decided to put you in a combat team. However, it is not my authority to take you off, Silver Squadron. You are now an asset for the team in now which I am part of. And I need to know if whether or not you're going to actually perform.
That's a funny way of talking about killing. Performing is when you entertain people. You make them happy. This isn't performing.
So, all right, then let's
Makes
call
me
it as it
happy.
is. Let's call it as it is. Fighting war. We are at war with these beings. Ivan pages through each of the photos. These are beings that have come from the stars with ill intent in their hearts to come in an attempt to slay every man, woman, and child on this ship. Everybody that you may have ever cared about. Everybody you may ever come to care about. If we do not handle them, if we do not kill them, if we do not engage them, they will, like any other invading army, they will burn everything they touch, and all that will be left in their wake is ash. Is that what you want?
No. Doesn't sound like they're too much different from you and the captain.
They're not much different from humanity in general. Humanity is all of conflict, of fighting. After all, let's see here, you're probably what? 22? 22, 25?
He looks... He's definitely not 25. I'd say he's anywhere between young adult. I'd say he looks anywhere between 17 and 22. Hard to place though, because he's pretty just funky and mysterious.
You may be young, but you've been told of the last global war.
It devastated my home country.
Not surprising. Captain Colors has managed to completely wipe off several cities of my homeland off the face of the earth. Just like I marched into several cities that he was protecting. So that is the nature of humanity. We fight, and many will die. But inevitably, we fight to protect what is important to us.
It doesn't have to be that way. After the global war, everyone said never again. But it's happening again. It's no different.
And what would you have us do? Huh?
And he sort of holds his head in his hands. I don't know.
Then, if you cannot offer better solution, then we must go the normal way. We fight, we protect ourselves, and we move on. You have to remember, it is kill or be killed. So Ivan gets up, is like, I would get some rest. And when your mind has calmed, come see me down in the hangar with the rest of the Fusiliers. So we'll have a few other chats.
Oh, that's ominous.
So, but with that, Ivan will exit the room. So, and yeah, as soon as he hits the hall, he also pulls a small flask of vodka and just like.
Of course, it's vodka.
It's the Russian version of colors.
So
two sides of the same coin. They'll never face the same direction.
Yin and yang, constantly punching each other. So,
hey buddy, still around? That kind of thing.
But with that, if you don't mind it, I'd like to push the scene along a little bit.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, I've left the room, so
Okay.
Yeah.
And Mecha, Alex Matz is left there, sullenly thinking upon what has been said.
Oh,
Thinking across everything as it fades to black. And then it fades into another area of the ship, this time in one of the cordoned off hangar bays for R&D and technicians, to which Captain Gullers has been summoned by the technicians through copious amounts of wine being placed around the area.
It's like a crafts table on one side for every room that someone summons me to. Just in case he gets mad, there's a crafts table for him to calm down.
There's wine, and then there's cheese and those little crackers.
It was like setting a trap for an animal.
He has like a trail of Skittles to get
He
in there.
enters the area, but immediately goes to the craft table and makes him a little plate of the cheesy crackers.
Yeah, they kind of.
In his mind, he's getting it just because he can chuck it at someone, but he is going to actually eat it.
Potential ammo, and when that doesn't
because it's
happen,
like initially he's like this, they're playing with me because it's funny, but then the cheese hits his nose and he's like, well, I'm going to eat it while I'm here at least.
It's not brie or anything good. It's like cheddar. It's what they can get.
It's what we can get. Hey, they went into the trouble of putting it together. I'll still enjoy it while I figure out. And then he'll fix himself a plate and he'll start wandering over to. He knows where they're at, so he slowly walks over there. making it look like he's taking his time for a real reason, other than just like he's like, oh boy, I don't have to hit these. I don't have to hit them. I don't want to have to hit them. Gentlemen,
And of course,
what new fun toys have we got today? He's holding the plate, and what isn't working?
What isn't working can be counted on one hand today, mostly because we don't know if half the stuff even works.
So it's more like what is working?
Yeah, we can
He's
count that on a couple of fingers.
The metal fingers?
Gravity's
Because we have only 2 of those.
Gravity's working, the weapons work, power's still on, and we're not all suffocating.
Have we figured out what happened to the space fold? Or is that just pretty much written off at this point?
We've pretty much written it off, but we were able to at least get that field of sparkly particles to form the point defense shields. That's something.
Yes, that was. We manned it last battle, but oddly enough, my scalpel squadron of Silver Squad actually went above and beyond and made sure we never even got shot at. So,
and they brought us back this fine piece of technology. He points behind him to the giant leg, which is kind of held up by a couple of chains, just high enough that they can, get under it and look around it. And they've stripped off the armor parts of it, and they have the armor laying around. And they're like, we have an amazing discovery, though.
Well,
their Robotechnology is 1-to-1 the same as our Robotechnology.
Are you saying as in how they use it, or their understanding of it as far as you can
No,
tell
as
from
in
this?
our parts can completely mesh with theirs.
So it sounds like you're saying we have the same technological basis, but just different employment?
From what we can gather, yes. In fact, we've actually been looking into, from scraps from several of the other battles, he kind of points towards, there's, charred pieces of a battle pod. There's, the cockpit of, there's, the cannon off of one of those red pods that seem to be leading people. Just different assorted parts. We think, and we would like to do this on a small test basis, but attempt to modify a small group of our Veritechs to see if we can improve them using their parts.
Improve how? Weapon loadout? Power,
weapon loadout, armor, structural integrity. We think that we can kind of adapt their parts to our mecha.
Consider it green lit for Silver Squadron.
Silver Squadron.
They're going to be the test bed for this monkey. Spin up Archie as soon as you can, and Silver Squadron is also going to include a destroy detachment under Ivan. He is part of the squad, so if you send anything to the squadron, he'll get it too now. So you don't be surprised if you see a destroyed squadron come in as well. They're lower priority for this. I want the fighters first because we've seen from the one smashing into the asteroid on the cams, we're a little squishy compared to their pods. But our guns are good enough to punch through anyway, so it's weird. They hit us and they don't always go through, but
it seems, from what we can gather from their weapons, our weapons and their weapons are about on par. It's just for their mainline units, we're calling them battle pods. Their mainline units aren't as well armored or structurally integral. It seems like they're designed to be a frontline unit that they can throw en masse, that has a customizable amount of firepower, as we've seen. Several of them have been equipped with missile launchers, and some of them even larger tactical missiles.
So they're more of the strength in numbers than our strength in.
Along with that, though, we have seen with several ones, he points back to the officer pod's canopy. The ones with the red canopy, they are just about completely on par with our Valkyries in most regards, outside of speed. But even then, these things pack enough firepower to make even speed not that powerful against them.
So they have basically an infantry structure that's dedicated to space. We have the ground pounding equivalent with the infantry soldiers with the variable weapon suites. And then we have the big bad in the back that would be the equivalent of the Air Force coming through laying down bombs. Interesting.
Except all of their things are very well adapted for space use also.
Yeah.
Unlike our destroids.
Well, we didn't really have a lot of opportunity to test space battles before we just suddenly were in one.
Well, unfortunately.
So it's understandable, but we're limping as long as best as possible. Yes, like it's yeah, indeed, a fast track Silver Squadron. The others
Understood.
can come afterwards. I will authorize you to make it available to all of them after at least 2 test runs by Silver, just to make sure nothing locks up mid-combat. They're a good squad and they're a small squad as far as numbers are going right now, so they are able to help each other out in a pinch better than a big squadron that has poor communication.
Understood. I'll get the paperwork signed up and several options laid out for the squadron.
Good.
Besides that, sir, that's all we have here for today.
Alrighty. It's hard to say this to scientists after the debacle with the anti-gravity, but good job and keep it up.
Thank you, sir.
He walks and puts the plate back down. He's like, yeah, I didn't have to throw it. He's actually kind of upset because he couldn't throw anything else at Ivan on purpose because he had to leave. It's like, well, all my fun is gone in the world. He just walks out the door.
Why are people so good at their jobs suddenly?
Yeah, it's like when I was actually in a good mood, everyone was terrible. Now I'm in a bad mood and everyone's good at their jobs. The crap is sense.
Yep. But and with that, we fade out again as the captain enters one of the turbo lifts, and we head off to Melody Jacobs and Alex Matz, kind of somberly, or at least Alex Matz is somberly walking, I assume, back to his barracks with Melody kind of just tagging along. Like, come on, buddy, why don't we just go blow up a building or something? Won't that make you happy? Obviously not that.
Yeah, not gonna do that. Nope, I do have an idea though.
Go right ahead.
Should I be worried?
No, but if you're up for it, come with me. We're gonna blow off a little steam.
Is
All
that
right.
a date? This love triangle is proving itself
He's,
correct.
He's more like a little brother to her. Stop trying to triangle it. But we're going to the arcade.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Like this'll help you kind of unwind a little bit, and it should help your skills a little bit. We're gonna stick him in that simulator.
Is it a simulator or is it? I don't remember from the show because there were some shots where it was just a holographic table and there was just joysticks and button. But other times,
simulator.
but other times where it looked like they were in the cockpit in the show. So I'm not sure whether it's a simulator or just an arcade game.
You're getting the works, man.
Oh,
It's a flat arcade table where one mode is, you're going down the street in your gear walk mode and you're shooting targets and you're shooting at each other to try and beat each other in points. And the other one is a 3D battle sphere kind of thing.
okay. Well, if you're up for it, this is something to kind of help you unwind a little bit and help you kind of get your edge back, kind of thing.
He just sort of gives a nod, like, yeah, and like that seems fine.
Okay, Mom, we can go to the arcade. Can I get pizza too? Yeah, but the trip to the arcade is pretty uneventful. Life in the city has, it's gone back to as normal as it can be. People are driving their cars around.
Is that community garden actually going, by the way?
Yeah, no, the community garden has gotten started. Unfortunately, it's going to take a little while for it to get growing, but it's definitely helping. It definitely will help once it's done. Hopefully, it doesn't get blown up by a Zentradi landing it. We don't know these things. But you guys eventually make it to the arcade, which it's got some people in it, and It's generally pretty active. One of the couple of the RDF soldiers are around. One of the like two different tables that have got set up for the thing. There's like a blue-haired guy going up against some guy with brown hair from one of the other squadrons. They don't seem to be paying you much mind.
We recognize the squadron insignia or whatever.
You don't recognize it right away, mostly because they're kind of it's mostly the angle that you can't see it at. Because one of them's facing behind you and the other one's kind of blocked by the other guy. But they just seem to kind of be there, just doing their own thing. You bring them in there, and there's a couple of games. There's one of those bike racing ones where you race the bike for a time limit. There's DDR. There's
It's lasted far into the space future of 2009.
Everybody likes music and dancing.
There's also one of those Japanese rhythm games where you touch the screen. Time Crisis 4 is there, except it's Robotech Crisis 4.
Oh, is there that Japanese arcade game of flipping the table?
Wait,
Might
what?
be bad.
Unfortunately, I don't have that one right now, but they say that they're getting some new games not in, but they're getting them made.
But yeah, just dragging the kiddo around. He's gonna have a little bit of fun and maybe work on his skills, whatever.
Okay. I will say that this allows you to attempt a roll to kind of consolidate your, horrible feelings of what's happened. Maybe, and depending on how you do it, maybe you'll just become one of those people that's like video games and war are the same thing.
Oh jeez.
Oh god. So what? Just like a flat roll, or what is this?
Just choose. I'd say just choose two of your things to kind of bring yourself to bear on what you're kind of doing.
Are you there to kind of have some fun, or?
Okay, so you're just talking about like choose some skills to play the game with. Okay. And I'm assuming we're doing player versus player or something.
I don't know. What are you guys doing?
Yeah, we can do that if he was up for it.
Oh, I had no idea. I just assumed you were doing that.
Yeah, we can do that. See how you do against an opponent that's not some horrible person you're killing or something.
So
The
in
game
that
is
case,
called
Fayt, you roll
Soylent
two.
Green is people.
Oh,
bad.
Soylent Green is made from trolls.
So in that
what am I rolling?
just I think opposed rolls.
Yep, just normal like 2 dice.
Oh.
Well, we'll say that you're on one of the arcade cabins for, the Veritech, fighting each other game.
Okay.
Veritech fighting game. Yeah. It's Street Fighter 5, but there's a Veritech in it.
So I'll be using counter position to anticipate where she's going to be flying and flash move to keep up with her and outmaneuver her.
And I'm going to do the same thing.
I mean, that works.
Push it to the limit.
And I assume I can see her.
I mean, yeah, you can see her.
So copycat. And
And before she screams, "No screen cheating!"
Yeah, no screen cheating.
And I'll use, because there's no reason not to use it, is fast transform to use a partial transformation to sort of like get behind her or something.
All right, yeah, no, I'll allow it. And these things have like normal Veritech stats and everything because after all of this, they kind of declassified a bunch of the data on the Veritechs.
Let me just pool all these dice. Because transformation lets me use 2 equipment suites.
Yep. Sponsored by Robocola.
Oh my. Let's see. 6. And I'll use the mini missiles, so it's 6, 8, 11.
Wow, it's on like Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Target number 4. Just because it's a game, I'm not going to take it any less seriously. In fact, you can take it seriously because it's a game, one could say.
Yeah, that's actually a good thing. I don't mind that. You doing that.
Roll it.
2
2.
successes.
Okay,
3.
still shaken.
3
So
successes.
3. So you got 3 successes
And target number is 4.
for him because he's using copycat.
Oh, yeah.
Yours is 5.
I was going to say, I'm like, hmm?
Yeah,
Unfortunately, this is not in any of your
yeah,
elements.
definitely not.
Yeah.
Melody Jacobs, this would fall probably into your element of ace pilot.
Tried so hard.
Yeah.
And didn't get far.
Didn't get very far at all.
And in the end, it really didn't matter.
I don't know. She could roll real crappy as well.
Yeah,
We don't know that.
I usually roll really crappy, so.
Watch her roll great.
Who knows?
6.
Yeah, we watch as the test pilot destroys the civvy.
Okay.
Gee,
That's
who saw
7.
that coming?
7 successes.
So the game starts, and it's in the you guys were in, I think it's mode B, where it's a 3D battlesphere, and you guys are maneuvering around each other, and well, you think you're doing pretty good, Alex Matz, and then you kind of look over, and Melody Jacobs is playing with one hand.
I'm
And she's
handicapping
just-
myself.
Yeah, she's on her phone at the same time, and then she puts down her phone and then starts actually getting into it, and it's about 3.5 seconds later, your Veritech's legs are literally destroyed from out underneath them and leave you in a free fall to quote unquote death before she shoots you. Luckily, you don't actually see it from the pilot seat because 3D battlesphere. But yeah, no, she soundly defeats you.
Gee, who could have seen that coming?
It's fairly well, though. You got cocky.
Awkward silence, silence,
maybe,
silence.
Maybe not the best thing. I don't know. There's something that you think
Is
you're
this
better
kid
at?
bothering you, ma'am?
I mean, there's a karaoke station.
Oh,
No.
yes.
It's one of those 2-player karaoke stations too.
That sounds
That's
like a
super
fair trade-off.
Macross, though. One of you wants to go really bad, and the other one's like, no,
No.
God dang it, no.
Please
I-
no.
I did trounce him in this, so I guess it's his call of what
Yep.
to do next.
He's like, he looks around the arcade, looks past the karaoke station, snaps back.
And
No.
you see his gaze land upon it.
He has this evil grin.
And off to the, he's like, we're going to that.
Oh, okay.
And so now we'll do one more test and see how it goes. Come on, you could, and this one's a co-op one too. You guys can sing together, can't you?
All
Come
right.
on, harmonize, Fayt.
All right. Yeah, we'll do the.
All right. And obviously, I'll be using grand presence and star quality.
I'll probably do. I guess we have to use skills. Close quarters.
And I don't think she sings well enough for me to get a copycat bonus.
no, I'm an amateur. And how about escape artist?
You're trying to sing as quietly as possible.
I can always get free of this.
You're one of those people that mumble sings into the karaoke machine.
All right.
Is
And this is definitely in my element.
Yes.
And may or may not.
Only sings the chorus because she's like,
And then I'll just re-roll all those. So
So that,
It's one of those. It's one of those ones where you only know 3 lines. You
One,
only
two,
know
three,
2 or
four.
3 words.
I can
So it's-
harmonize a little bit, but he's definitely going to kick my butt in the karaoke department.
And
All right,
you,
seven.
you guys are like singing, and then
That is
Seven.
she's
6.
like really silent for like
You
That's-
got,
30
you got a
seconds.
5. You got 7.
That's
Yeah.
7 successes.
All right, and so she's
3. So it's the same, like the flip, yeah.
and so she's Melody. Melody, you're not that bad, but you don't really know the lyrics to the song that he chose. So it's just like occasionally you see like it's some Japanese song that he's singing, and then
I just
occasionally
kinda-
you just see,
Hit the notes every now and
So
then.
and occasionally you just see the words. You just see 2 English words which you sing perfectly, and
I'm
it's just
not holding you back.
yeah.
I'm not holding you back too bad.
So
You
wait,
definitely kicked my
I
butt.
guess, does he know Japanese, or is he just like know the words?
I'd say he just knows the words because anime.
I don't remember if I ever decided if he was like from the Middle East or if he was a Jewish from Japan.
Either way, it's one of
Yeah.
those things. You watched anime. How else
You
could
know
you
enough
know
to
the
go.
hairstyle? But yeah, no, you
Thanks to the magic of Robotechnology.
But for the most part, no, you were able to really sing really well, and you're kind of getting back into the groove of things. And I think it's at this point something clicks in your mind that if you don't fight, nobody can hear your song.
All right.
Which it won't completely cure the trauma, but it will do a significant chunk on it, so that way next time you can actually finish it up, hopefully. And you guys play in the arcade till it gets to dark and outside of the place. The place is closing down, and the artificial sky has started to dim and darken. What are you guys doing at this point?
How long has it been since we got back? Like how many hours?
I'd say like 6.
Holy crap, that's a
Like
long.
like an hour of that was spent like waiting and doing debrief and your little talk with Ivan, and then the rest of that was going to town and playing in the arcade, and you guys kind of just got swept up in the fun as your romantic relationship starts to bud.
Forever young.
Hey, at least the kid's smiling and had a good time. He's not
Mm-hmm.
going all stuff. Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished.
The captain is going to be at a restaurant with his crack team eating and commiserating how much they didn't realize that guy was on board, and now they got to work with him, and they might as well make the best of it, and there's not enough wine at this table.
I'm not even going to question that whole dynamic.
Yeah, no,
it's
it's
cracking.
Everyone else wonders too, and they never really quantify it on purpose. They just smile.
Is there any specific type of restaurant you're going? There's a really nice Chinese one.
No, not the Chinese one. Yeah.
There's
Greasy.
a taco place.
No.
A hole-in-the-wall burger joint, and then there's like one steakhouse. It's not really.
Yes, there we go.
Yeah, no, it's
We gotta
a
bring it
nice
up.
place. Yeah.
We got to bring it up. My presence will start bringing it up.
Okay, is
The
it a
mayor's gonna
steakhouse
come
or is it
hunt me.
Longhorn Steakhouse?
No,
There's
it's
an
not
important-
Longhorn Steakhouse.
There's an important
Texas Roadhouse, man.
There's an important distinction to be made here. Is it an actual steakhouse or is it,
It's actual
buffet.
steakhouse. Like it's like Cooper Hawk, winery and steak place.
I'm probably going to grab Alex's hand and like drag him towards that because I want that.
Your treat.
And so you guys are dragged in, and you see the captain there in the back with his girls, and his girls are all drinking and stuff and having a good time. One of them's texting.
One of them's always texting.
One of them is just like literally. Oh, you've never seen her put down that phone.
She put it down when it got exploded the last time, and I got a new phone because I'm a good friend.
Yeah, I think I think it's because you actually probably exploded it.
Probably. Who knows?
Probably.
Who did what and who killed who and who flattened whose village and feels guilty for it? That's all separate.
That's why you
stuff.
drink.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
I probably will drag poor Alex towards it, and then I'll be like, "Oh wait, do you like this? I'm sorry."
I've never been here.
Oh, good. Drag him more.
Oh, perfect.
and so you guys are stationed away from the captain because he's got his own like little private dining area because he's the captain.
He's in the
there's-
VIP lounge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple of our RDF members, some who are, smooching out with their loves to be one of them, smooching out with a steak. As he slowly savors it, which, eventually you guys get in there, you put your orders in, and it's a generally quiet night, and eventually all nights must come to an end. And Alex Metz, you had to pay for dinner. Because she paid for the arcade.
Well, okay.
I mean,
That's pretty even.
It's not much of a problem. I can afford it.
Yeah, no. You guys have enough spending cash to actually spend on things. And as he is the more richer of the two of you, I just assume he pays for the more expensive thing.
Yeah, he probably offered that.
And so eventually your dinner concludes and you're left outside. It is officially dark out. Not really anyone's driving around. People have gone to sleep. Occasionally a speaker announcement calling for people to meet in the hangar or other places is put out through the area, but it doesn't seem to disturb anyone's sleep anymore because this has been going on for several months at this point. And so, do you part ways? Do you give him a tender kiss?
Right when the captain walks around the corner, or not captain, the
Yeah, I'll probably kiss him on the
Archibald.
cheek and said hope you actually feel better afterward.
You're only feeding the shippers,
Mhm.
Yes, I know. Yeah. Well, just being nice shippers, jerks.
And so you separate for the night. Fayt, or rather, Melody Jacobs goes back to her barracks, which is a separate one from you guys because female male dorms, and also the fact that they're smart enough not to put her anywhere near
Archie.
someone.
Yeah, see, Archie is
Archie
the reason
Wald.
that.
Yeah.
Archie is the reason why all these are like that.
and plus there's
This
the
guy
fact
can
that
never
we
get a
have
break.
practically limitless space.
Yeah. But Alex, you're starting to walk back when you hear a familiar tune from down a little pathway. And it's dun 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 bop, wom. And you kind of turn and look down the alleyway and walk down it.
All right.
And
I am.
that's where we end that.
Do 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 do. Who knows?
And so eventually the next day comes around. Everyone's back in their barracks in their room. Alex Match, you remember having a nice night out and heading back to your room. And all in all, everything's going pretty well for the next couple of days. Eventually you guys are, after a while you guys are called down to one of the hangars to work on the Stinger stuff, which will work out out of character, but they show you all of these cool new things, ways to increase the armor, or add carrying capacity or things where you can actually carry a couple of soldiers with you or something. All kinds of different ideas and stuff as it goes on.
You said carry what home?
Carry a couple of people.
Oh,
Okay. Like a little sealed compartment you can attach to your back.
That's cool.
Recovery pod.
Mm-hmm. But for the most part, it's just really kind of a nice couple of days, and it's at this point.
Does Archie can Archie reduce stress at all? Is there time for that?
Yeah. So since you guys were actually sleeping, you are reducing any fatigue that you had.
I don't have any.
But to roll your drama, yeah, no, we can. That was what I was about to say is you guys now have a little bit of downtime to kind of do your own thing.
Okay.
The only one who's not allowed to attempt to reduce their dramas any further currently is Mecha, as he just did.
Well, I don't have to reduce mine.
I know. When we can figure out what you're doing, here in a little bit. And actually, we'll go to the bridge. You're up on the bridge. It's morning, just after breakfast, and you're kind of just sitting back in your chair, kind of looking over the reports. And of course, the supply reports, as always, are showing a giant, massive, red number next to the supplies.
Yeah, everything we use doesn't get replaced at the same speed we can use it. 'Cause we're not supposed to be out this far.
Nor are we supposed to be out with 70,000 extra people on board. Lisa Hayes chimes in.
He's just, yeah, he's got like spreadsheets up on little heads up display type things all over the place as he's trying to find the best way to keep the numbers from crashing into zero real quick.
Well,
Just do that. The mayor
I
is
don't know
wanted
if we
by
have
new
enough
law.
supplies to make it back home, sir.
We don't. The mayor got through Alex a good idea to start producing some vegetables, but we don't have enough seed stock to actually make it viable in the short term, in the long term. We need an asset that's actually somewhere nearby that we could restock or at least reset some of these numbers. We could make it.
There's like I imagine the bridge has like a chime or something. When someone's asking to enter the bridge.
Mm-hmm. It's
So,
like there's a little chime, and then it's after a couple of seconds, the automated voice goes, "They do not carry wine."
Ignore that. Come in. To push the button.
so
It's an automated thing that someone's playing a joke. Come on in.
Yep,
Oh, it's you.
You look so sullen every time you see me, colors. But permission to enter the bridge.
Come on. I'd rather have you where I can see you, you old dog.
You still hold long grudge.
Oh, I'm
You
over
would
the grudge. Just giving you crap. You're the one that got away, and the only one I actually didn't want to keep.
One of his crack crew chimes in. It's more like he's actually kind of jealous sometimes.
Shush. Half rations.
You say that, it's like, you'll buy me dinner later.
Shut up.
See if the women know what's up. But
I owe them a village, okay? It's not normal.
You owe several people cities in that. If that's the case.
They nope. Not the same thing. That one was on purpose.
So, and he holds.
And I didn't get the target. You're standing right before me. So either way, it was a waste of time. What's up? How can we help you? And he starts sliding stuff out of the way.
I assume those are all the supply reports, yes?
Actually, the kind of the reverse at this point. The loss and absence of supplies. Got another month maybe before we're out of critical food stocks outside of the disgusting rations that half are already spoiled because this place wasn't supposed to move.
Yes, well, as you well know, the battlefield has little pity for anybody who cannot adapt.
No,
it's kind of why I wanted to speak with you.
Go ahead. I'm all ears. My eyes are busy, but my ears are open.
So
you notice that for once there is no wine near him, even though he did say he wants some. He's actually pretty serious right now.
So, well, so tell me, how much do you remember of the old Moscow campaign?
Which part? My part or your part?
The part where, my forces were in a place where they shouldn't have been because supposedly we should have run out of supplies.
Oh, I remember getting false reports that you were over a click away from where you were. And then 6 months later, right after that campaign section was over, I got reports that you hid stuff in the... What are you saying? Are you saying you hid something out here? There's no way you hid something out here. We weren't even...
No, but I didn't. But I command practically did.
So
the red planet.
Mars.
There was colony or something. Base, yeah?
It failed because they couldn't continue to supply it with the materials needed to keep it running because of the...
That's the official report, sir. Lieutenant Hayes chimes in.
He just laughed. He's like, "There's always 3 reasons things don't work out, Lieutenant. It's
Well, it's
one of
more
them is
we
probably
lost communication with the base.
yeah, a lot of problems happened, and it was unfortunate. It was a joint
But
venture that all the parts didn't connect, and we don't have a choice. Um,
it's possible there's still large amounts of supplies since we don't know what happened after communications were cut.
no, we don't. But what we do know is it existed. It's a good enough lead. Ivan, as always, I hate your intelligence because it's useful, and
But yes, I think we should. If you value my opinion, I think
it's technically
should- we should stop by Mars, see if we can verify anything about the colony, and if nothing is there, well, then we strip everything down to the last nut in bolt. So
Good idea.
my Fusiliers have extensive experience and taking everything that's not laid down. After all,
good.
that's how we
Good.
got through. How we survived New Moscow. So
You dogs. Okay. Yes. Will Hayes get me full scans of that planet? I want to know everything that we can know without setting foot on it. And then we'll get up a battle plan for us to get down there, strip it clean, and then get back out and get on the flight. Because the ship can go into atmosphere, but we're sitting ducks in atmosphere, so we can't be too long.
Shall we also try to attempt to send communications to the base? In case there are surviving personnel.
Just one.
Understood.
Just once. Literally saying we are attempting to land for repair.
Understood.
Say main guns malfunctioning. Let's just give a false op on that, just so they think that we're unarmed when we land, in case they've already been compromised.
Understood, sir. And she goes back to her work, organizing like 5 different displays worth of stuff into like messages and sending out duty orders to several groups.
He leans over to Ivan. She's good.
Indeed.
We could have used. We needed like 6 of her back in the war.
oh yes, so
we would
you
have both been out of a job.
And you hear one of the crack team chime up and say, "Hey, you were pretty good.
You girls are the best for what you do." She's good at best at that, and that's why the war lasted so long, because we all had idiot bureaucrats instead of people like her.
And politicians. Let's not get into the politicians though. And like Ivan will like reach in and pull out a flask and it's like vodka.
He brings the cup over to pour some in. It's like, this stuff is like Russia, mean and smells like something dangerous. He tinks.
It also kicks in the teeth of mine enemies. So
Oh. Yeah, it still burns. Mm.
we can bring up more if you'd like.
No, no.
One of
if
my
I go blind because I drank this, I'm totally going to find a way to blindly kick you in the nuts.
oh please, lightweight. If you ever change your mind, one of my privates actually has a little distillery tucked away.
Okay. I will unofficially not go down there and find that steel and kick it over if you promise me to not put any more of this what tastes like fossil fuel in it.
This is good quality Moscow style vodka.
That's what I just said. The best stuff available ever on the planet has been the stuff that we used to burn things that you left behind.
Very, very, very well. Whatever. Drink your sissy little grape juice. I will talk to the Fusiliers. I imagine you're going to want us on the ground to strip everything when we hit the dirt.
Yes, Silver Squadron is officially labeled as my scalpel. So when I need something stabbed, you guys are going to be going in first. You guys are the experts on the ground, and they're going to provide air cover and partial ground support. Most of their mix of hands are equivalent to human hands. A little wonky because they're not direct one-to-one interfaces. Because that technology hopefully doesn't ever exist, because that's going to be really freaky when we're basically machines. But yeah, you're going to be in charge of the actual overall ground operation. If it comes to airtime, then you're going to separate into 2 squads for that moment. But yeah, you're focusing on defending yourself and stripping that place bare.
So permission to requisition additional support trucks in order to load all this nonsense on? I imagine a couple...
And Lisa Hayes chimes up and she's like, I've already organized supply trucks from the 12th and 13th logistical divisions.
He's
Full
pointing at, he's doing one of those
yeah,
see, like doing like
full
the
detachments of trucks. They'll be able to do it, and I've already assigned Vermilion, Skull, and Vanilla and Capricorn squadrons to the defense of the logistical teams. I've also assigned Silver and the Fusiliers to hold back closer to the SDF-1 in case we need to deploy them somewhere else.
I'm voting for her if she goes for the president of the planet.
So, indeed, Pleminica is very good at her job. She works very hard.
Thank you, sir.
So, but for now then, I have troops to organize, and I suppose some flyboys to knock out the bunk.
Oh no, leave them be. They're better if I scare the crap out of them to get in their pilot seats. It's also fun. Flyboys are a little different. You guys need that discipline because you're actually at each other's back. They got to be a little more independent. So pretend to give them leeway. He chuckles.
Okay, so. But I have one final question before I leave to do preparations.
Of course, go ahead.
The civilian, Mats. You sure that was wise to to attach him into this squadron?
My ship had teleported itself. My command teleported itself on the other side of our interior galaxy. There was a kid that was a security threat that I had to keep an eye on, and there was an enemy about to attack our ship. 1 and 1 made 2. If he works out, he's got a record now. We can track him, and when we get back to the planet, if they have figured out who he is, they will take care of it from there. But at this moment, he is a valuable asset that has performed admirably up to now. His personal feelings are immaterial. He stops, he's almost glaring, like he's like, you dare question me? Almost like he's really competent, and then he goes back and he pulls his own flask and fills his cup.
Yeah.
And I was going to kick him out of the airlock if he didn't say yes. We have no time for that. I don't like it any more than you do, but as long as he continues to perform, he stays. Just like us, You know how quick it is to die out there. For every 3 of us, 3 people like me and you, there's 1,000 dead.
Indeed. That's why I question the attachment of essentially a conscript to a scalpel team.
He's good. He's also capable of. He's got a high degree of copying. He seems to be really adept at copying things that he sees. I don't know how he does it, and honestly, I don't care. I want to utilize it in the place I need the most amount of skill in one blob. If he's on a team of adequate people, he's probably going to perform adequately. But if he's on a team of my elites, he'll hopefully perform at least partially elite.
Interesting.
And at this point, there's a rather furious knock at the door. Sir, we have a problem.
Oh.
And one of the people enters. It's an MP. Sir, we've been trying to raise you for the last 5 minutes. There's been a murder inside of the officers' barracks.
All right. Take me there.
Understood, sir. Any
And he turns
salutes
to
and
Ivan. Take care of your squad, get them up. Give the flyboys the rest of the day, and then tomorrow morning, turn them out. He's being serious now. He's the cups left and all that.
Duh. So
and so the MP takes you away.
Right.
And everyone else in the barracks, you guys have been having a lazy day, to say the least. Your last mission was pretty hard. It stretched you guys, but after a while, all of you guys kind of hear like a little bit of rustling and rumbling coming from Lord Father into the officers' barracks.
So we were R&R, and then we hear a rumble.
Yeah, you guys were R&R, you and Chuck were in the room, just talking, shooting, shooting the crap as it was going. Everyone's kind of just relaxing after a tough mission, and there's a lot of noise going on, like people talking outside the doors.
Talking outside the door?
Yeah.
And it's not of our squad? Like,
No, it kind of sounds like it's more than a couple of guys too.
does it sound like it's violent
It's a small
or not?
crowd.
Not
No,
crowd?
it sounds like a small crowd, but kind of almost hushed, but not really because it's a whole group of people.
You hear that, Chuck?
Yeah.
Is it is it Chuck as well as Alex and Jacobs? Like, are we all? Is it all of us here, or is it just us two?
I don't know. Would Alex Matz and Melody Jacobs have ever gone into the room with the other guys to just chat it up?
Oh, I didn't know if it was I didn't know if we were in a commons of sort or. If
No. Yeah, there's probably a common area inside of the place, but you guys inside of your rooms and stuff, which are fairly spacious and stuff.
I'm sorry.
So it's probably all the guys over that way that are
you're muted, Mecha.
Somewhere else.
I thought, sorry. Yeah, I was under the impression as well that you were talking about a common room.
No, this one is kind of just you guys are kind of probably relaxed. It's R&R day, and I doubt Mecha's really even gotten up out of bed.
Probably not.
Okay, so then I'd be like, "You hear that, Chuck?
Yeah.
What's going on? Don't worry, I'll follow you.
Want to go check it out?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll go first since I do all of the work in the squadron.
Yep. I like to let you believe that. You are the man.
Yeah, and he kind of rolls his eyes and he kind of punches on the shoulder a little bit and heads out the door. And do the rest of you guys kind of head out your doors to kind of check out the noise?
Yeah.
Well, you said that I was kind of away from
You're
their
a
barracks,
little
so
bit away from it.
would I even hear it?
You've heard some rumblings outside of your room. You've probably gone out in your commons area because, unlike the rest of them, you're not shut in with one person or hunting women.
If there's an exercise area or something, I was probably that.
You got a report that the male barracks in subsection C, where the rest of the squad is, there was apparently a murder.
Oh, well then I would head over there because it's
Wait,
up and
what?
about.
Wouldn't the non-officers of us be in the non-officer barracks?
Yeah, but in this case, it's due to the limited construction area of stuff, they've kind of had to stack people together.
So it would be like the women, the women in male barracks. Anyone who doesn't or isn't married or has a partner or they would be in their own block, essentially, just probably at different floors.
Yep. And so, as you guys all kind of mingle out, and Mecha, you're coming out and checking out too?
Yeah.
So yeah, as you guys are all coming out, brain is failing tonight. Archibald and Alex, you guys see what looks to be a couple of MPs kind of blocking towards one of the other squadron rooms. It's one of the lesser known squadrons. It's Magenta Squadron.
Magenta Squadron. Okay.
Yeah, no, they were one of the groups that was more tasked with patrols and that stuff. They never really seen a whole lot, from what you can tell at least. Of course, being on different schedules and stuff, who knows what they've been doing.
Yeah.
But you see the door to their office room kind of slightly ajar, and MPs are kind of surrounding the area, telling people to kind of back up a little bit. You can see what looks like a pool of blood and a hand resting in it.
Chuck. Like my hands are on his shoulders. I'm like looking around like,
Holy shit.
this is gonna give me nightmares. Let's go check it out.
I don't think we're gonna get past those MPs, dude.
Oh, you distract him. I'll take a look.
If I get court-martialed over this, I'm gonna beat the crap out of you.
No, trust me. You're gonna have nothing to do with it. And like I somehow trip him into falling over to the right to cause a big ruckus, and then try to sneak past the MPs to see what's going on.
I'm just sort of watching and observing.
Yeah, so Chuck's going to roll his dice to attempt a distraction for you.
Yeah.
You're like attached to his shoulder, walking up, like telling him the plan, and the MPs, like one of the MPs overhears and just kind of stares at you. Halt! I can't let you pass here, sir.
And you telling both of us?
Yeah.
Like, we gotta walk through there to the other side. It's okay. We'll just be a minute.
I'm sorry, sir. And he kind of steps in the way. It's like you'll have to go the other way, sir. This is cordoned off. MP investigation.
I'm sorry, I misspoke. What I meant to say is, what's going on here?
That is not up for me to say, sir. He seems to be very much not giving answers, either because he's been told not to, or because he doesn't want to.
Let's get him to loosen his tongue a little bit.
Alright,
I'm like,
what are you gonna try?
I'm Second Lieutenant Archibald Silverworth III. I'm almost head commanded this entire SDF-1. Also, you have the famous Alex Matz right back there, just a kid but famous, and I'm sure that real hot piece. Well, it doesn't matter. She'll probably come. It doesn't. Anyways, you have all these
like,
celebrities
at this point,
here.
you see Melody on the other side of the MPs.
Not her. No, not that hot. Anyways, just be real quick. Anyway, look at what you're surrounded with. And I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm talking and throwing dice.
You're trying to fast talk him.
Yeah.
Let me see what you got that you could use for that.
I would say it's
Smooth method, maybe?
I've definitely smooth method. And
strafing run would work since you're trying to just beat around the issue.
Strafing run, yeah, with a 3.
Maybe flash move.
He does go unpredictable. I have no idea what I'm going to say. I will go with strafing run and flash move.
All
Just real quick, try to get around. Yeah, that really makes sense together. That would total 6.
Yeah, you're trying to talk to him as you're walking around him.
Yeah, it's like, so, and you got Jacobs over there. Definitely want to pay attention to her. What? No, don't turn around. You got to look this way. You're on duty. But then you got Alex Max. Look over there. No, don't actually look. But actually look. And then I'm slipping around like, I'm just right here. It doesn't really matter. I'm just peeking a peek. Just keep looking at him.
All right, roll it.
All right. And target number 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, boy.
Hey,
that's a 5. 5
2,
successes.
4,
5.
Nice.
5. Yeah.
5 successes.
So you're able to just, with the amount of words, and you kind of push Keith into him, and you're just like pointing around, and you're kind of looking around, and you kind of just slip past, and you're able to get a quick glimpse into the room without stepping across the line. You're kind of like leaning all the way over into the doorway.
I don't want to damage anything and upset the crime scene. I just want to take a peek at what has actually happened, and then I'll probably just sneak back out. My verbal diarrhea is probably still going. Like I don't stop talking because then he would realize I got snuck past him. So I'm just talking like, yep, and I'm Archibald, of course. You can call me Archie. Off duty, we'll get a drink sometime. And holy cow! Anyways, and then I just start walking back, maybe, and you can tell me what I see.
So, 1 second while I pull up.
I can even get Alex Matz to sign an autograph for you. He's pretty good. I mean, I can give him the order he has to, but I'd like him to do it of his free will, of course, because that's actually technically worth more. And, then Chuck, you guys got to talk to Chuck. He's the one that almost tripped over there but failed. And don't worry, I didn't see anything. Anyways, good day, sir.
And what you saw, like, you thought this might have been, okay, someone committed suicide or something really horrible like that. But when you came around the corner, this guy's body was mutilated is a word that you could possibly use for this, and it might be a bit too light. Like, this guy looks like a complete pincushion, torn up, just shredded. His uniform, the front of it is drenched in blood. He's just filled with holes.
Oof. Someone got gibbed.
Ooh. You know, I've been trying to recover from my drama of losing people, and I feel like this is not my crew, but this is
Not helping.
it's not
Not
because
helping.
It's more, and these are more pilots, right?
Yep, this is just
Okay.
from other squadrons.
Okay. And so, like, I'm still talking when I come back, but I'm like, and by the time I get to, like, good day, sir, like, the enthusiasm that was in my voice, like, I've lost that kind of, like, that heat in the
Yeah.
voice. And I'm looking at Chuck as I'm walking back towards him, and I think his face has gone real
Like, pale.
real pale. So his flaring orange hair probably really just shines like the auburn sun. And, like, yep, and Chuck and I are going back to get a little stiff drink. Oh, Alex. Turn back. I'm just like grabbing the turn around, like,
Exit stage left.
exit stage left.
Yeah, and Melody, you can see, you could see this whole shenanigan fest going on, and how even Archibald went pale when he looked inside of that room.
Hmm. That's
And
not a
he's
good
taken
thing.
the rest of the group and gone the other way.
Wow, something to shut Archie up. That has to be bad.
Yeah. And after a few minutes, as you guys are like, or as those three at least are leaving, Captain Colors walks, enters the area, and one of the people calls, officer on deck, and everyone snaps to attention, salutes, and gets out of the way.
This is
I
one of those
assume-
times he's strolling in too. He's looking crisp. He's actually got the hat on straight. The uniform is actually buttoned up properly. His gloves are on. He looks like he's here and he's serious. He doesn't
Mhm.
have the smile on his face that he usually does.
Yeah, and I'm assuming the entire party follows, the protocols and all that, because you guys are military, at least most of you. Alex Bats, I'm assuming, does it just because he doesn't want to get yelled at again.
Yeah.
If we didn't make it out of the area before he entered, always it's.
Yeah,
you know,
no, he basically brisk walked in right as you guys starting to drag each other away, and you guys were stuck to the walls. You're a little bit away, but everyone you salute and he walks past, and you're met with the same scene as the MP's part, just long enough for you to get get through and see the scene. And a scene it was.
Around, and first thing he's asked is, "Do we have the ID on this man?"
Yes, sir. It was Alpha Bates, leader of Magenta Squadron.
Magenta Squadron. What was their last assignment?
From what I understood, picking up wreckage and patrols out in off Section 32.
Section 32.
Back for where we were when we were passing by the enemy ship, or what was left of it.
All right.
Hmm.
Have all scans from their Veritex for the last 48 hours sent to my personal ready room.
Understood, sir.
We're going to classify this as a investigation.
Understood, sir. Shall we keep it quiet?
He crouches down. He'll touch some of the blood and he'll look at it real slowly.
It's real.
He rubs it. His gloves are white, so it's
Yeah.
definitely a mess now. And he'll look at it and he'll say, "No, this man died. Up until the moment he died, he was listed as a honorable fighter in our squadrons. His terms of death are unknown. We don't know really what part of this killed him. Have the body sent to the coroners as normal. Do not reassign this room, however. We're going
Understood.
to set up a surveillance equipment in this room to see if someone returns, just in case they left something behind. So we're going to
Understood.
assume that there was something that he recovered that he wasn't supposed to know about. So keep that in mind. If we see more incidents of violence to Magenta Squadron, we know someone is trying to hide something." He clenches his fist and he stands up. He's like, "This is serious, gentlemen. This is the first death that wasn't caused on purpose in war. This was senseless. I do not condone the waste of lives like this.
And the MPs all, nod, and the lead MP is like, yes, sir. We'll get right down to investigating this. The coroner should be here any minute to pick up the body.
He'll start to walk out. He'll turn real slow, walk out, and he'll stop. He'll turn back over his head over his shoulder. I trust your professionalism. If you have to, however, feel free to bring in private investigators if there's any in the city that you think could be in the places that you don't know about. But keep the investigation itself quiet, except for people who come to me.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And he'll start to walk, and he saw the blood on his hand as he walks out, and he'll kind of do the come here to the Silver Squadron if they're still out.
Yep, no one's been told they can leave.
Yep. He'll walk over to them, actually.
Okay.
He'll take his glove. He'll finally take his glove off and just kind of inside it out, just to put it in his pocket. There's been some problems. Don't pass it along to everyone in the manner that we don't know what happened. We are investigating it right now. Assume there was a saboteur type situation, and we don't want them alerted, so we don't know anything yet. But keep an eye out for people who aren't supposed to be in your areas. That's a generalized order from now on from your barracks. This is still your personal space, and we will respect that. But the common areas will now have surveillance. It will be logged automatically. It will not be personally watched until a flag scenario comes up of people who are not authorized to be in your area. If you're inviting guests to your areas, make sure you log them with security. And he looks at Archibald. Anybody, Archibald.
What? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And Chuck kind of just elbows you really hard.
And he looks over at Melody. He just chuckles. You're not supposed to be in this section, but technically you're allowed to be here. So just make sure you don't stay here after curfew. Oh, yeah. Curfew. Midnight. I don't want people moving around unless it's necessary. And he'll nod his head and turn and look at the rest of the people that might be sent in the hallway. At ease, gentlemen. Get back in your rooms. Let these guys do their job. Tomorrow we got to go back to doing ours. And he'll salute the group and turn and walk away.
All right. And with that, everyone, drops their salutes and goes to at ease. And they mill around for a little bit just because they're all kind of like, what the hell is going on? The usual things going on after a murder in barracks. And and when you said the possibility of saboteur, it does start, getting some people like looking between each other, like, is one of us the saboteur? But with that, on that confused and somber note, we end the session today. And I, as Robotech Master Harukajunko, say thank you for being here. I'm hoping you guys are having a great time watching this. I am having a great time GMing this, and I have now just turned this into a murder mystery. Hooray!
What are you doing?
In space.
But
Space.
But yeah, no, for the most part, I think everyone's doing pretty good for this session. You guys are only going to get about 15 XP. Gonna be that here since we didn't accomplish a whole lot. It was just mostly role playing to let you guys start working on your stuff. Archibald, next week we'll start off with you and your thing, and then we will go straight into landing on Mars because Lieutenant Hayes has found a perfect landing spot close enough but far enough away from the location, and she thinks from Mars-based Sarah, and well, the players don't know it. Zentradi are planning their own move, and anyone who's familiar with the series will know as when the Zentradi brings up a message, Chiron, we are to be attacking the enemy when they reach Mars. And he gives a chuckle and goes, "Good, we can crush those Micronians finally, and we can get the reward for killing them, along with their skulls." And with that, as he menacingly laughs, the screen fades to black. And yeah, no, that's the official end. I will now pass it off to let's start with Jodo since he's new.
Actually, I have one question in game before we shout out.
Yes.
You said
Okay.
it was 15 experience.
Yes.
Okay, and I also feel like you just, as RM told us all that in character, so technically our characters know that there's a trap laid for us in Mars.
Oh, no.
Yes. Okay.
No.
I tried to slip that one by you, just like Archie did the other day.
I mean,
so it
Archibald
failed.
is going to Mars, so there's a trap there.
Well, I tried RM. Anyways, I'll go back to Jodo.
Yeah, no. There is a trap on Mars. His name is Astolfo. But yeah, no, we will go to Jodo now, since you're the new guy here, as we sign off as Robotech Master for the night.
Howdy, folks. Jodo 1025, a.k.a. Major Ivan Suranova. It is a joy to be back in the saddle here on Lucas's channel here. So I've been getting the itch, and when I was asked to join in on the Spotlight crew, I was like, "Oh, yay! I can play a crazy Russian." So, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what else Harukajunko has planned, as well as the other shenanigans that goes on with the cast, of whether or not Captain Colors and Ivan will inevitably just keep grudging back at one another, or whether or not Ivan inevitably kicks Archie Wall out a short airlock. We'll see. But I actually don't have a whole lot going on this week on my channel. Just a lot of things kind of still in the mix right now. However, next week on Wednesday, the 29th, we are coming back with episode 2 of season 2 of Titans of Moran, my Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition adventure for Extra Life charity. We have a big surprise planned for that. So if you liked the personality you saw here with an angry Russian, definitely come check that out. But otherwise, I will definitely be here next week for the next session of Robotech. So, but I think I am going to pass the baton, and I'm going to go ahead and send it directly, if I'm pointing the correct direction, to my left. I think this is the left on the screen. I'm checking against Twitch right now. Yes, it is to the left, to Corporal Melody Jacobs, aka Fayt.
Thank you, Jodo. Nice to have you back in the session too. But it's always fun playing with these goobers, and Ruka, you're doing a great job. It's been fun so far, letting us do everything and trying to kill us off in a slow, painful, agonizing way. I'm sure you'll get your chance. I just play games every now and again with everybody, and whenever I have time or inclination for it. I've been enjoying this, and we'll be back with Blade soon enough, so looking forward to that and the chaos that we've inflicted on that one. So with that, I will turn it over to Mecha.
I'm Mecha. I guess I don't really play that often with the other games that you guys are in, but it's always a pleasure to be playing with you guys, and I'm looking forward to next Sunday when we go to Mars. And that's about it. I'm going to pass it up to Soundwave.
Yes, Soundwavesghost. I am currently playing Captain Paul Colors. I'm going to preempt some of what the lieutenant's going to say next to me and say that I will be back here on Tuesday. This coming Tuesday, I'll get to be, I reach behind me at my hats.
Get the right one now. Come on.
Donatello. And then next Tuesday, if everything goes right, I'll be employing one of these guys on more players and Alien RPG, also on alternating Tuesdays, at least for now, until we decide something else. And so what was in Blades? I played TikTok, which was the hat underneath that one, but he's been retired technically. So I'm gonna debut a new character when that starts back up. As always, I had a great time, and I'm really happy to get to play. And I'll take the fucking pad off now and be me again. Put that on top of the cover. So there we go. Over to Lucas, the owner, technically, I guess, of this channel that we've commandeered.
I should say one thing or two. Yes, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, friends. Thank you, audience, and a good little audience in the crowd tonight. Also, Lurch Laster, who joined. Mike, another buddy named Mike from way back. Represent, sir. Thank you for joining up. Don't forget to follow, or I will unfriend you forever. Anyway, also, Fayt called us goobers, which is a chocolate-covered peanut, so I take that as a compliment. They are delicious. This was wrapping up Robotech. So just a quick thing about the schedule for the people that are live, and this helps to join the Discord too, because you see the schedule there, or click on the scheduled below in the Twitch channel. But we have 3 more Sundays. We're gonna do Robotech, and then Mike will be gone, and so for February the 16th, the 23rd, and possibly the Sunday after, we're going to do Action Movie World, which this is a blast, a not serious game. It's comical, it's fun. It's bad 80s movies where these guys play actors who play characters. And there's big explosions, killer one-liners, everything that's bad about the 80s comes to life in this game. So we're going to do that. So 3 more weeks of Robotech, then that, and then we're going to come back with more Robotech, swapping bi-weekly with Blades in the Dark as of right now. And then Tuesdays, as Soundwave said, TMNT Series 46. That's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles this week, and then Alien RPG the following. So we're swapping games back and forth. We're having a good time. Definitely come see us. Definitely appreciate the follows on Twitch as we've become affiliate, and we're trying to work towards partner. That's a long road though, but every subscription helps. So anyways, I thank you guys very much for being here today. Note to self, ready transition. Anyway, I had a great time, Mike, and it was a good RP session, so I'm looking forward to getting back into some more RP, the murder mystery next week. A little more Archieisms, more slaps to the face from Jacobs, and more of Chuck Burns pulling him out of the fire. So we will be back in 1 week from tonight, guys, but join us Tuesdays as well, and just let's have a good time together, all right? So until then, you guys all have a good night. God bless and good gaming. We will see you next time. Have a good night, guys. Peace. Robotech will return next week.